We're back for night 2 on the 99 Sport project. While my camera batteries were charging, we got the radiator installed and found out it needed a water pump. Just finished the water pump, putting it back together now. Cleaned up the thermostat housing, put a new thermostat in it. Of course, the new alternator. And also the steering box got done. Down there somewhere. And had some time to finish the front brakes. Got calipers and pads and rotors. So that's all set. Get this all back together now, get some coolant in it, start it, and get all the air purged out of the system. Hopefully everything else is tight. Well, I got the water pump all back together and got the engine running, adding coolant, and just saw dripping coming from the radiator. So as it turns out, the brand new radiator has a bad seam on it. Figures, 10 o'clock at night, can't do anything about that right now. But the rest of the cooling system seemed fine. It's been pressure tested again, and looks like the radiator is the only issue. So I guess I'll take a few minutes. I'll get rid of these shocks. I already took a few minutes and blew all the dirt, salt, rust, and rodent remnants out of the frame. The frame's actually in good shape. I'm not going to clean this one up and paint it. I'm just going to leave it alone. There's really no rot on it at all, and I think it'll be fine just the way it is. The next owner wants to finish it, coat it inside, outside. That's up to them. Got the rear brakes all cleaned up and adjusted. It took a few minutes to go over the rear brakes tonight. Shoes are fine. Anti-lock brake, tone ring down in there. A little bit of rust, cleaned it up with a wire brush. It did not set an ABS light when I had it running. Hopefully the sensor in the tone ring is fine. Wheel cylinders not leaking. Steel lines on the back are not too badly rusted like the front ones. And so basically just threw a hardware kit in there, hold down springs and so forth, self-adjuster cable, and just cleaned up and adjusted and lubricated everything back there. Needed a couple new wheel studs. So as far as the brakes are concerned, that'll be fine for the rear. This is actually pretty awesome. I think anytime I want to work on one of my Jeeps, I'm just going to take the fenders off. These shocks are always a nightmare, especially in New England. Everything rusts. This top nut never comes off, but with the fender removed, a little penetrating oil, and it actually comes off pretty well. Pretty impossible to do it with one hand, but just the simple things. It's a delight. The fender out of the way. Normally I'd be getting in there with an acetylene torch, cutting the top stud off the shock, burning the paint on the inside of the fender, trying to snub out the fire when these bushings catch fire. But this is a lot easier. Get these shocks out, and I'll try to get the 2-inch budget boost lift in tonight. Since I decided against painting the frame, just clean this thing up, get it running. Starting to lose patience with this Jeep. But like I said, the frame's actually in so good a shape, I just want to leave it alone. So if anyone who knows Jeeps looks at it, they don't see a freshly undercoated frame. That usually looks like someone just trying to hide something. So we'll leave it as is and get this thing going. So budget boost tonight. Probably just push it back off the lift, pressure wash everything, start to clean it up, and get the engine bay as clean as possible while it's exposed like this.